Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Paradise. Yeah, today is a new beginning for me. It is a new beginning that I struggle a little bit with because I really want to be able to explain you everything as good as possible. And I still struggle sometimes with the English language. Yeah, I learn every single day, as I mentioned in some videos already. But it feels like the life is pushing me forward to this experience because there are many different things I would like to share with you. And this is a new beginning of my spiritual diary. First of all, before we're gonna dive deeper into the topic, are we divine beings? I would like to share with you a few information about this kind of not topic, this kind of session that I make. Altogether, this is my spiritual diary. So I will explain you all the different things that I experience in my life and that I already experienced, like my meetings with different entities, the times where I was able to see different beings. I will explain you all my thoughts. I will explain how I do shadow work, what kind of light work I do to help to develop the planet. So there are many, many different things of my own spiritual journey that I will share here with you. And of course, whenever you want to ask me something, just leave it in the comment. I will take a look on this, and later on, when its time will be good, I will put it in one of my videos so so your questions will be answered sooner or later. But yes, I'll try not to cut everything, like cut, so everything will be fluently. I really like to let it as authentic as possible because this is how I am. I cannot just cut through my life showing only the best moments. But maybe I'll make I have I have a vision like at the very beginning it will be just videos where you can just sit down with me, drink a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you prefer, or drink some beautiful energized water as well. This will be time to relax, to reconnect with yourself, to reflect on your own progress, to see how I things solve, and maybe you will be able to reach out in a different ways to your problems, deal with them in a different way. So this is all about helping you to help yourself. This is the reason why I will usually talk about my own experiences, my own thoughts about many different topics. Also, one of my favorite topics are ancient civilizations, extraterrestrial beings. I was already working with some, and I had already some experiences in my life that were incredible. My experiences with psychedelics, I'll share all of those experiences here on YouTube in my spiritual diary. So this here is the beginning. And of course, the beginning of my spiritual journey started with my spiritual awakening. And first of all, I will explain um, I have kind of two things. Um, Either I explain you what is awakening, or actually no. Let's begin at the very beginning. So, not when I was born. I can come back to this topic one day again. But today we will stay with by my awakening. So my awakening was wasn't very dramatic or full of ineffable feelings. But yes, it was incredible and exciting at the same time. Um, you know, I used to be in a Christian religion for since my birth. So I went every single Sunday to church with my mom, with my parents. And I didn't like it, to be honest. I didn't like it. It was just boring, and this mood in the church is so depressive. It's just so we are all sinners and we have to go to the church because, yeah, and forever and ever, and yeah, it is not atmosphere I feel comfortable with. So I never liked to go to the church. This information is very important because of what happened after my awakening, so keep that in mind. When I went to school, I didn't like to learn, I didn't like to spend time at school at all. It was usually very boring. I was usually the one guy who is different. Not different that I just came from a different country. I was born in Poland, and then after the divorce of my parents around the age of 11, I moved to Germany with my mom to my new stepfather, and that was actually already enough to be, oh yeah, he is from somewhere else. But then, in addition to, I already had another kind of vibe. So I never thought about it like this, but I can imagine then those two things combined made me totally different to all of the people that were around me. And of course, there were people from different countries, and not everyone was able to speak in perfect German. So people were used to, you know, to this kind of people. But yeah, I used to wear clothes in a different way than others, and not like this. Like today, I already developed kind of my own style that I still am developing because I cannot just stay stuck to one thing for the rest of my life. That it this wouldn't be me. I mean, change is something that is happening all of the time. So constant, is it constant? Change is something constant. Yeah, you see, here's a little thing about my English. I still miss words, so I can explain a lot. I can talk about a lot of things, but sometimes I have like one word that I struggle with because I'm not sure. But oh well, the day are coming, the lessons are coming. I learn every single day, as I mentioned before, and I'll get it. I'll get it sooner or later. I'll get it. Great. So, and I really wanted to belong to any kind of group, so tried to behave like them. This is a very typical thing. If you want to belong to a group, you usually try to behave like them because then you will have equal qualities, and then the group will have more sympathy towards you. This is also my mother told me, there was an idiom in Poland, but unfortunately I'm not really able to translate it. No, it's really difficult to translate it. It's very difficult to translate it for me. But yeah, it has to do with if you want to belong to a group, you have to behave like them. And it's not always a group that you really want to be in, especially when you're a child. Of course, you don't have this awareness. If a group of people is really good for you, you just see them being maybe respected by other kids, or they have more influence in the school or internally in a class, so you want to be with the cooler kids, right? You want to belong to them, so you try to behave like them. So and at one point I start to smoke cigarettes. I and to a point that I actually very fast I started to smoke weed, and that was something that had changed a lot in my mind and how I perceive the world, because I realized, especially at the very beginning, I was able to see small expressions in the face. Do you know the series Lie to Me? I'm not sure if it was around the same time. I mean, the first season is already years ago. But Lie to Me is a great series if you want to learn to read the facial expressions of the human. You know, this mini expressions that people have that can show their even hidden feelings, where you usually just see someone smiling, oh, he's smiling, but the eyes aren't smiling as well. You know, this is the thing. When eyes are smiling, then it is a very authentic smile. If just the mouth is smiling, it's false smile. Just so, this kind of thing. Or when people get angry, then here, this kind of movement can be very fast. You see, and this can be so minimalistic that you can't even notice it in a normal conversation. But experts are able to see those things. And this is something that I also experienced during my first period when I was smoking weed, that I was able to see very small changes in the face. I was able to feel much more. Sometimes it was a little bit overwhelming, especially when I was at school and I was usually smoking during my school time, because I knew my parents were very strict in terms of drugs, alcohol. I mean, my mom used to drink occasionally. My stepfather, I guess he almost never drinks. So it was a very, if you're a good boy, then you will have your rewards. If not, no, well, you will lose. This was kind of a family vibe that I was living in during my adolescence. And it was really tough. It was a really tough life for me. So I kind of escaped into this state of being high. It was like, oh yeah, I'm high, and every problem just disappears for a little while until I get sober again or go back to my family house, and then everything will appear again. And unfortunately, it appears much stronger because I tried not to be totally high when I arrive at home, and I usually arrive at home as late as possible. So when my parents were already sleeping, and this was kind of a very good thing. But yeah, back to the story of my awakening. Why I tell you everything. The thing is, I used to daydream extremely strong when I was high. I mean, I was daydreaming already without taking anything. I'm really good in daydreaming. I can just daydream, and this word that we usually see just disappears. I with open eyes, I step so strong into this daydream that this world that we act in and live in and disappears. And when I was smoking weed, it was so strong. And then I was sitting in a class, and then I woke up from a daydream, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm still sitting in the class. And I didn't know how long I was daydreaming, how long I was gone away into my dream life. So, and once, it is kind of paradox, I was sitting in religion class. We had a really, really nice teacher. He was religion teacher and biology. Very interesting combination. He had also this nail was much longer than all the others, and we were talking about, oh, maybe he's in a sect or something like this. But he was a really cool teacher, so it's very revolutionary vibe he had. He also told us like that many people who were teaching only religion were looking down to him because how can you manage those two things, religion and biology? But he said for him both belongs together, and united those both things. And we really love this guy, really love this guy. And at one point, here it comes. Are we divine beings? This is it, my dear cosmic friends. Are we divine beings? Well, I was sitting in a class, and suddenly I had this thought. Wait a second. Isn't it in the Bible that God says, I am omnipresent? I am inside, I'm outside, I am everywhere. In this moment, something inside of me happened. I hadn't any control about it, but it was just happening. My horizon just expanded into the endless. I had such a moment of awakening that I was like, what? But that would mean that I, as a part of everything, I am God as well. And please pay attention. Here's the difference. I am not telling, I am here, God, and you all are my creation. This would be egoistic. This would come from a place of ego. This is a difference. Our ego is something different than our divine consciousness. And here is the point. I realize that everything is divine. Everything. Because God says himself, I am omnipresent, right? Omnipresent. This is the funny thing that so many people knows that God, that we put God like attributes like he knows everything, he is everywhere. But for some reason, people don't acknowledge themselves as connected to everything. When we talk about everything, this literally means everything. So there is nothing where God isn't. We are inside of God. We are divine beings. We are inside of the source of life. We are not outside. The source of life is everywhere around us. This is how I see the world. And this is a little bit different perspective from so many different religions and whatever they are around, or ideas about the word philosophies. So this is my own experience I am talking here about right now, and this, for me, this makes a difference because this is nothing I read somewhere and then I thought, someone is saying we are God and we are divine, and no, I never heard about it before. I was still stuck in my Christian mentality. And here's the twisting point, or this difficulty that I had to face. I had to face that God isn't out there somewhere in the heavens sitting on his throne and ruling the world. No, there isn't such a thing as God in person. God in a person, because God is everything that exists. God is everything that exists. And when I when I left the class on my way home, I actually just accepted this, what happened to me, and I just looked around and I was kind of very, very cheerful mood because I was looking around and telling, well, wow, we all created this. Or maybe I thought like I created this. I wasn't sure on it was like I was such a sorry, my camera just okay. I was such a young baby. Let's say, yeah, I was such a young baby in this moment. I was a newborn consciousness, newborn awareness about myself, who I am, what I am. I really like to add not only asking yourself, who are you, but what are you as well? What are you brings another dimension to the question of who you are, and it allows you to dive even deeper into the meaning of yourself by asking yourself, what do I am? Try it out. Ask yourself, what do I am? Just on the side. So, and I went home, I was looking around, but the one problem was that I was alone with this. And it was very difficult to stay stuck to this idea that just appeared, to this consciousness that was born. And it took me a long time, several months, to really integrate this consciousness into my daily life. And because today is for me is totally normal that I'm a divine being. We are all divine beings having a human experience. Here's the point. Divinity doesn't mean that we can, clap with our hands and here we have a jar full of gold. Or we can, how do you call it? Snip the finger. Snip? Is it snip? Snip your finger. I would just take it. I will learn it probably one day better. Or I would just see a confirmation that I did it right. Snap with your finger or your fingers, and someone just disappears. It is not how this world is created. Of how it is created, I will go deeper on in another video. I can see for some reason I have only like 14 minutes left on my memory, but it is more than enough. I already speaking like 25 minutes around. So, and this is the thing, my dear cosmic soul. This is my own experience of my awakening. And I had to face one big challenge. My old belief system that was telling me God is somewhere out there in heaven, and there's also a chance if I question him that he might be like Yahweh's in Old Testament. On Old Testament, the God Yahweh's, I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. God was called Yahweh's, and he was the God who destroyed things, who, you know, was able to become angry if something wasn't like he wanted it to be. So I had kind of this fear of leaving my old belief system and stepping into the new one. So what did I do? Well, I tried my best and I told my mother. For 1 week, my mother didn't tell anything about this idea, but after 1 week, she told me she doesn't agree with this. But it wasn't just an idea that I had, like, oh, maybe I will have a big company or maybe I should start a new sport. It wasn't an idea that came into my mind. My consciousness totally changed. My awareness totally changed. I was perceiving all the things around me in a different way for a long time. And it was totally different than from before. And there is a thing about psychedelics, and I'm not I yeah it had something similar to a psychedelic experience. Yeah, I was high, but it wasn't just because I was high. Let's be honest, how many people are smoking weed and are still in their own consciousness? So that has nothing to do with me being high. I believe it was kind of a help to receive this upload, this consciousness upload. This is how I see it today. But it wasn't, it is not necessary to be high to awake. People awake through all different kind of experiences, pain, troubles, challenges. So it is not only because I was high, just so you know. But once, there was an expression, or yeah, once a consciousness touched a higher realm, he won't be able to turn back again. And this is what happened to me. My consciousness awoke, but I still had an old belief system working within me. And I had to deal with this. And I'm honest with you, it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy. I also had to face the challenge of, do I actually exist? That was very worrying, to be honest, because I realized actually it is also possible that we just totally not exist. Like nothing exists at all. If God didn't create us, who created us? What created us? So I went to a point to realize even if nothing would exist, there would be still an existence. It would be just being, just pure being, but more not like an entity, but more like to be, from the word to be. You know, this realm of to be, this pure to be, that would remain, that would be left if everything would disappear. So nothing is actually impossible, let's be honest. And also, I also watched once a video from some monks who were talking about the beginning of creation. And after years and years of meditation, they came to a conclusion that there was no such a thing as a beginning, because a beginning indicates that there was something that caused a beginning, right? So if you start something, there needs to be a force that starts something. So they came to the conclusion that existence is eternal. So there was always something. This is crazy, right? That there was always something. And it started with just the pure be. I am. But I is a born of the ego. So just to be. It is just the pure state of being. And here on this point, I will make a break, my dear friends, my dear cosmic family. To be honest, it wasn't that scary at all. I actually was able to say a lot of things and actually to describe them pretty well. Yeah. So whenever you procrastinate with doing something, just do it, try that out, and then you might be surprised how easygoing something started to be. And it is really easygoing. So my dear friends, I'm ready for today. We're gonna see us next week. So I'll probably do the videos on Tuesday. Allow them to upload so they appear midnight. Yeah, at midnight. Yeah. And we see us. Oh yeah, I'm working actually right now on a beautiful meditation. So probably this will appear this week. Maybe I'll be able to do it until Friday. It is a meditation to receive grace. I connect with Shiva, and through him, he is speaking. So this meditation is wonderful. Right now, I'm creating music. Oh, actually, I am. So this is gonna be beautiful, beautiful meditation to receive grace for your life. Ah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I'm super excited to share it with you. I will definitely share it on Instagram. So whoever isn't connected with me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Every links to my SoundCloud profile, Instagram profile, and oh yeah, this just both of them, both too. There, subscribe to my channel if you want to stay up to date. And yeah, we see us very, very soon. Thank you for being here with me, and bye.